There is no clear assessment by the officers of Education Department on the efficiency of schools. Inspection of schools has become irregular, and even when it is done, it is formal. The inspecting officers do not make any attempt to assess the performance of the schools. This is the major charge levelled by the headmasters against the Education Department when they were asked to comment on the report on the educational administration. The principals of colleges agree with them. They say that the Education Department, instead of showing an example to the educational institutions, remains to be the neglected department. A principal remarked that the only guidance the departments give them is at the time of students' agitation. He said that even before the trouble starts, the officers telephone and ask us to close the institutions. The head of the institution has no choice except to close down the school, even if he does not like to do so. The supervision of the elementary school has to be done by deputy inspectors of schools. These officers are also having heavy responsibilities. These include supervision of the midday meals scheme, collection of money to the various funds, including the raffles. Of course, all the collection work they delegate to the teachers and make the teachers collect from the students and parents. The inspecting officers are not therefore able to devote adequate time to their main job of inspection of schools. The headmasters always and at all times feel that to give relief to the officers of the Education Department of their non-academic work may not be immediately possible, but the government can appoint more inspecting officers to remedy the situation. Inspection reports on the working of the schools are not sent in time to the headmasters. Even if some kind of report is sent to the schools, no follow-up action is taken to ensure that the suggestions have been carried out. The schools are under the control of the Director of Public Instruction. Although they are managed by various agencies, the government is the real agency because it pays salaries of the staff and distribute grants for the construction of buildings, purchase of laboratory equipment, library books, and for maintenance of schools. The headmasters say that no officer in the Education Department is inclined to help schools even in regard to simple issues or in matters relating to discipline or teaching. At the office of the director, there is nobody to guide headmasters, teachers, or other visitors to the various sections with which they may have business. The office generally takes about 6 months to reply to any letter sent to it. The headmasters point out that the way in which library, laboratory, and equipment grants are distributed is an example of the poor planning in the department. These grants are disbursed all of a sudden in the last week of February or early in March. The district educational officers who are in charge of secondary schools rarely meet the headmasters at the conference to discuss the new methods of teaching or steps to be taken to tone up teaching. As regards discipline among students, the headmasters feel that there is no discipline at all, and that both the parents and teachers are responsible for the sad affairs. No parent takes interest about the education of his child. Dear Sir, I am in receipt of your letter dated 23rd July 1972. I am very happy to note that you have very carefully examined the proposals contained in the said letter and that you are taking prompt action in the matter. In the circumstances explained in your letter, I am writing to my firm at Bombay to contact you or your representative and have personal discussions on the issue. Under any circumstances, we assure you that we will place an order and execute an agreement on the lines suggested by you. Meanwhile, we shall be thankful to you if you could kindly arrange to send your latest catalogue for our information. We propose to have a meeting of our board of directors very shortly, and we want to place your proposals before the board for their consideration. If the board of directors desire to visit the work spot, I shall let you know sufficiently in advance so that you may be ready with your arrangements. At the work spot, one of our engineers desires to have a thorough examination at the project. We want to open a showroom as early as possible, and we look forward for your full cooperation in this regard. After the showroom is opened, we will be in a position to place the maximum orders possible. I shall be very much obliged for an early and prompt reply in the matter. Yours faithfully,